Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome again to another webinar, which is about a new disruption in the in the AV segment, especially AV conferencing. My name is Devraj, and again, as usual, I'm joined with Fali Mania, and basically today we are going to discuss about some basic topics. For many of you, I mean the agenda would look very basic, in the beginning, but it's good to brush up on some of the basic things, but it is also contextually going to help you with the flow of the session today. And then we will understand as to know what is the disruption in AV, what have we brought to basically make that big change in the AV conferencing segment, right? So that's what is going to be the part 2 and 3 of today's session, and then obviously, as always, in the end, we will have a Q&A session. So just to remind everyone, and for people who are new to this kind of webinar, this is a one-way session. So if you have any questions during the course of this presentation, do note that you have a Q&A button on your interface somewhere on the right-hand side, if you're on a desktop or even on a handheld device. And then you can use that Q&A window to post your questions. Fali would be moderating those, and please wait for the end of the session for us to kind of address them, right? So the session wouldn't last more than 40 minutes. I'll not take a lot of your time, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. So let's look at the first topic for today, which is mixers, basically pertaining to the audio mixers. It's basically a device, as you all know, which is designed to combine one or more audio sources and then put it out together as a single audio system. That's the basic concept of any basic audio mixer, right? So what it has is it's designed for limited number of inputs and some limited number of outputs, and to some extent a bit of a control to basically optimize the performance of the audio coming in and going out of the box as well, right? So it could be it could be for multiple program audio inputs, multiple microphone inputs, and then how you want to have those inputs go out and fed to, let's say, a recording system or to a public address system, and basically it is for a better multimedia or a multi microphone experience, right? So the another type of mixer that you would commonly see is a matrix mixer, right? Wherein you have multiple inputs and outputs, as you see in a basic mixer, along with the control. But you do have a matrix mechanism wherein you can decide as to which inputs or which specific inputs need to go to which specific output. So that's what the matrixing allows you to do, along with what the basic mixer was giving you as a basic feature, right? Not only that, it also apart from the hardware interfacing and matrixing, the modern matrix mixers also have some software capabilities, which basically along with the physical joining of the source and outputs, the inputs and outputs, you also have some additional features which is embedded into the hardware as software or a firmware, right? So what these additional features do is basically they are able to associate the audio input signals, and they can understand what kind of manipulation can be done with these signals, allow you to make those manipulations via software, and basically give that better experience. Some of those examples would be acoustic echo cancellation. You can add some filters to it. You can manipulate the nature of the audio picked up naturally. If it has ambient sound, if the microphone has picked up ambient sound, you can do some EQing wherein that ambient sound can be reduced or rejected. And you can have some additional level of automatic controls in the form of compressors or limiters, or some amount of gating. So to ensure that only the required level of audio, or the speech, if it's human speech, when you speak up, only the microphone is picking up that signal, and rest of the signals are not considered, right? So these can be part of the same mixer itself, or it can be an external control, and so basically to have the most optimized output, right? Now the thing is, once you consider a meeting space, right, like this, which is like a boardroom, you have multiple inputs, right, and multiple microphones, multiple audio signals coming in. Now, imagine the same situation happens, in an outside live arena as well. You have different artists performing on different microphones, instruments being played on different microphones, and then they all go to, a mixer, which is managed by a front of house engineer, an FOH engineer. Right? Fali happens to be an FOH engineer, by the way, and a very good one at that. So the thing, what Fali does is he has to basically listen to all these audio sources. When there is a sound check happening, and then he has to adjust the mixer, he has to adjust the inputs, the faders, the EQing, so that all the outputs coming in from whether it is an artist, whether it is the instrument, all those inputs he has to calculate. He has to make the mixer programming done in a way so that if it is being recorded, or if it is being broadcasted, or if it is being reproduced inside the arena, it has to sound awesome, right? So that's the effort behind going with a live sound kind of a situation. Now, in a meeting room like the one that you see on the screen, the situation is not very different, right? You don't have artists, you don't have instruments, but you still have multiple microphones picking up multiple participants in that meeting room, right? So in terms of technicalities, there are a few common things that are happening here, right? So basically, mixing has to happen, right? And not every person would speak the same way. Just as the way you see that different artists perform differently, and the level of inputs that you see from a vocalist would be different from what you get from an instrument, right? Just in the same way, if different people speak differently, somebody would have a commanding voice, a more projected voice. Some people would speak very low, which is something that we generally see in meeting room environments. So we are getting different signal levels, different levels of different types of signals. There is ambient noise. There may be ambient noise. There may be reinforcement inside that room required. So basically, we are asking for pretty much the same thing that an FOH engineer would do in a live arena, right? But do you really need to put a big setup like that? You don't, right? So it's the features that we need can be handled automatically in terms of doing the EQing, adjusting the gain levels based on the person speaking, or based on the inputs that is being received by those microphones, and then some acoustic echo cancellation if required. So all that in today's world can be managed automatically by something called as a DSP, right? Which is basically stands for digital signal processor, and this is the one which is basically responsible in today's world for the automatic mixing and giving those capabilities that I was talking about without having a person inside the room like an FOH engineer to basically manage the audio of that room. So you have all those inputs put in one time, have it configured on a box wide basis, and one time, right? You don't have to configure it every time you have a meeting. So this is something that the combination of a hardware and software that comes in the form of DSP is giving you that automation, that flexibility to be able to use a meeting space in a much more usable, much more easy way, right? Now, this is so far the standard traditional approach about or the evolution of mixers or DSPs, right? And most of you know that Shure also has been into this segment for quite some time. Shure has an algorithm, basically the combination, what you saw in the last slide, the combination of hardware and software to be able to bring that automation to some extent in the form of an algorithm called as Intellimix, right? So Intellimix was introduced in our portfolio in the early 90s as in one of the first field production mixers, and then over a period of time, it slowly started to get better and better with more features, improving on its earlier features. So in the late 90s, we brought in the SEM series, wherein the circuitry was improved, software was improved, and then in the early 2010s, it was the SEM 820 which became more sophisticated with better mixing algorithms, and it was given some more additional punch of additional backend processing. So this is so far how we kept the traditional approach of having an improved DSP. In the late 2010s, I mean not many years ago, 3 years ago, we brought in the P300, which is again an Intellimix based but very powerful DSP, a very small form factor, a very different form factor than what you saw on the SEMs. So for people who have not been aware of the P300, it's basically a PoE powered network based DSP, which can also take a couple of audio video inputs, but very strong comes with a very strong Intellimix processing algorithm, much better than what we had till the SEM days. It is able to support AEC. It is able to basically do noise reduction. It understands Dante, so the hardware is Dante capable. And it can also be USB interface. So we kind of brought the P300 typically for the AV conferencing segment, which caters to both the software and the hardware codecs, right? This further improved, as of last year, the same Intellimix algorithm which powered the P300, we brought into our ceiling array microphone, which is the MXA 910, right? So the 910's hardware was capable more than just picking up audio or doing basic processing. We found that it could handle the processing of what the Intellimix needed. So we brought in the Intellimix algorithm into the 910. So for basic rooms, you could have the 910 only as a microphone and a processor, right? And then you could just need an interface to convert from Dante to USB or hard codec, or analog interfaces for interfacing with hard codec. So this is what has been the evolution of the Intellimix till the late 20s, right? Then what we did this year is basically we took out that Intellimix Room algorithm or software, and then we because today's hardware is capable of handling most advanced processing without using much resources, we took out the Intellimix Room as a software, installable software, and which you can download as a .zip format and then install it on a PC, right? So why so is because the PC is more powerful, and the traditional approach of having a black box DSP may not be any more relevant in today's world, wherein you can basically have a DSP and the soft codec sit together, and then you only need the front-ending hardware peripherals like the microphone or the camera to basically capture the audience, right? The rest everything can be made software, and since we had the capability already in software, now why not just make it installable? So that's what we did this year. Intellimix Room comes out as a software which you can install, and basically it's going to support the soft codec platforms. So let's look at the Intellimix Room a little bit more in detail. It's what is it? It's basically a licensed audio processing software primarily designed to replace a traditional black box DSP. Why replace black box DSP? As I explained before, is there was sometimes the need for an optimized solution, right? An optimized product which could do the job just right without making it look like an overkill, right? If you have a very basic room, if you have a soft codec, just because you have multiple channels coming in, and just because there was only this hardware DSP available, you had to put that hardware DSP in place. Now, if you have a very basic environment, you do not need a hardware DSP, then this is something that's going to address that particular segment. The performance of the Intellimix Room has been optimized just as the way it was in the P300 as it was in the 910 when it was built in, to be able to understand the feeds coming in from the Shure networked microphones, whether it is the 310 or the 910. It is designed to run or coexist with the soft codec installed on a PC, whether it is Zoom, Teams, and it has been designed to be IT friendly as well. When I say IT friendly, it means it has been tested for security. It is a secure software, and it does not jeopardize the security of the organization even on the network, because it's barely using any ports which are vulnerable or which make the machine vulnerable. Right? In terms of requirements for the Intellimix Room to work, it is designed for Windows, so it is a Windows 10 supporting product. And in terms of processing, any basic PC configuration, even if it's an i5 1.9 gigahertz processing, is enough for it to be able to do an 8-channel to work as an 8-channel DSP. And it does need a physical machine. The virtual machine is not supported for this, and what is very important to be noted is that it needs a solid state drive. So more than recommended, it is mandatory, because without solid state drive it would not work. And that the Intellimix Room software has to be installed on the same computer as the software codec. So just to give you a quick look at how the Intellimix Room would look like. Obviously, it's a software, so you cannot see it, but virtually it resides on a PC, just as software codecs like Zoom, Skype, or Teams. Over Dante, it connects or gets the signals from the microphones over the network, and it basically, the very cool thing about this is that the Intellimix Room detects the audio interfaces or the AV interfaces of the PC, whether it is the HDMI or the 3.5 input, and then it can, it allows you to route audio, let's say from the far end, coming via the codec to basically just the built-in speakers of the TV if required, or if you have external speakers, you can route via the 3.5 mm jack or any sound card if that the PC would have. Right, so this is basically a basic logical schematic of how things would look in place with the Intellimix Room. So as I said before, the hardware peripherals are only the necessary ones which is required for human perception of vision and hearing. So you get to be heard from the microphones, whether it is a table or the ceiling array. You're seen from the camera, which is again a USB camera in most probable cases. And then, if required, if you want to be heard via separate speakers, the Intellimix Room is going to be enabling you that as well. So only the required hardware makes the solution very optimized, but does not compromise on the performance. So that is very very key thing in modern AV conferencing environment, right? So let's look at some key features of what the DSP or the Intellimix Room carries. Like I said, it is a licensed DSP software. It comes in 2 different variants, and that makes it scalable as well. So you can go the basic 8-channel version if you have limited channels in the beginning. But if you want to use, or if there is a divisible room, or that room becomes divisible later, you can expand the same machine's capability or the same software capability to a 16-channel one later on, just with a license upgrade, right? Each version supports additional 8 auxiliary Dante inputs and outputs. There's support for both the 8-channel and 16-channel versions. Once the Intellimix software is installed, it basically gives the capability of the Dante virtual sound card to the PC. So you do not need to install the Dante virtual sound card separately for the PC to understand Dante channels, right? So that's something taken care of by the Intellimix Room itself. And in terms of subscription, you have 2 options. You can go with a 3-year subscription, or you can go with a 5 years subscription as well. Basically, all maintenance and updates. Once you have the process in place, once you are the registered buyer or the customer, you keep getting notifications on the registered email addresses as to if there is a software update or if there is a license expiry about to happen. You get these information in hand, right? So in terms of processing capabilities, basically it is, like I said, coming with all the key features that the P300 also had. You get EcoCO cancellation, you have noise reduction, automatic gain control, and the advanced automatic mixing, which with the Intellimix already offered, right? What is also very interesting is that you have per channel optimization option available. So it gives you a more granular control of how you want to make the room sound better. If you want to do EQing, if you want to reduce HVAC noises, AC noises, projector noises, or any static noise that you hear in that room, which needs to be avoided. So the Intellimix Room is giving you that capability to individualize each channel and process it separately, right? So much better granular control there. Plus, you have direct outputs available per channel, which also again gives you more granular control about whether you want to give a more processed output to the AV codec, let's say Zoom, so that it sounds much better on the other side, or you want to give a less processed output to, let's say, local speakers for sound reinforcement, let's say. So now these are the pre and post processing and gating options that you get with every single input in 4 different stages. Again, giving a much more detailed and granular control about controlling audio, in the system. Traditionally, you would not find this in simple DSPs or simple mixers, basic mixers as you would call. But just with software, you're getting all these advanced features to make the room sound incredibly nice without investing in a lot of hardware, right? So that's one of the key features. And the PC, interfacing is also being allowed by the Intellimix Room, like I said before. So not only the HDMI or the analog interface like the 3.5 mm. Even if you want to use it with a headset microphone over USB, or let's say using a sound card on the PC, even Bluetooth. So you can have the Bluetooth interface and have the PC act as a headset, right? So that whoever you call from that PC, the person on the other side can hear you via the microphones in that room. So the PC or the phone just becomes your conferencing device, and the hardware is just right in place, so that the person on the other side, even on the phone, is not struggling to hear you because you're being captured and processed. The audio is being processed right. So this is basically the making the most of having a software installed on a PC, not only for the soft codecs, but also for whatever the PC supports in terms of peripherals, right? Basically, like I said, the Intellimix Room, once it is installed on the PC, it makes a custom Windows audio driver which connects the operating system, the IMX Room algorithm, and the codec all together so that once it is installed, the codec knows that yes, IMX Room is one of my speakers and microphones. Just as if you plug let's say if you plug a webcam, you see that, okay, I have a Logitech webcam or any webcam connected, and it detects it. The same way, the software will also detect Intellimix Room as its speaker and its microphone. So all you need is once you go to settings, off that soft codec, and then you just need to select, okay, yeah, what is my default microphone? It is Intellimix Room. What is my default speaker? It is Intellimix Room. Done. And then you are good to use the products that are the audio products that are interfaced with the Intellimix Room over Dante. Right? It is secured, supports the AS256 protocol or algorithm to make it make encryption happen. And then to have a more better control over AEC or better AEC processing done, you can refer to per channel AEC calculation. So if there is a microphone and there is a speaker close to it, you can tell the Intellimix Room that yes, I need to use this channel, this output channel as a reference for this microphone to be able to process the AEC. So that's where you get the best AEC experience as well. Right. In terms of peripheral support or in terms of hardware support for PCs, it has been designed to support not just a simple Intel NUC. You can have it installed on Logitech Room PCs, even Crestron PCs. So basically, the compatibility has been kept in mind because we may see and we wanted to keep it brand agnostic, right, or product agnostic. So because it's software, it is supposed to be friendly and compatible with all most commonly available hardware and software platforms in this particular arena, right? So that's how it has been designed for. And one very important thing, this is something that I've been sharing with my earlier MXA related webinars as well. All of our AV conferencing hardware, the networked AV conferencing products or networked audio products will now be supported or will only be designed or supported or configured by the Shure Designer software, right? So, whoever is part of this call in the community, I just wanted to also emphasize on this point that we want to ensure that people who are handling our products, managing, configuring, installing, selling, please be aware that with as of the software, as of the firmware that we launched at this IAC in February 4.1, all the network products, the MXA 910, the 310, the P300, and the Intellimix Room now will be managed only by the designer software. So you need to have the latest 4.1 designer software installed, and it actually makes the life much easier. Designer makes the life much easier because it can do the job of automation in a huge extent. You will be able to detect the network products online without having to use any other tool. It will show you which are the network products available from Shure. So you just have to pick and select in your projects. Designer also allows you to auto configure. So many people who have this earlier traditional challenge of either not being fully aware of configuring the Shure network products, or basically not having enough time to complete the configuration for those projects because it has so and so approach. Designer again automates that. So you basically all you need to do is pull up the MXA 910, the 310 into the designer projects, pull up the P300 interface, or even pull up the the Intellimix Room configuration, and just there is one button which says auto configure. The moment you click on auto configure, you basically are telling the microphone, okay, I have put you guys are both from Shure, the microphone is from Shure, the person from Shure, you know what to do with each other, and then they automatically, the software, designer software automatically, or the Intellimix Room is also able to automatically adjust to the levels, how it is supposed to be set up for that room, and then you're basically leaving it to software. So less effort, to be done manually, software making the life much easier for the programmer or the engineer who is setting up that room, right? So that's why we're kind of emphasizing on this approach that if you go via the designer way, the interface is much simpler and it is much faster and efficient to deploy the Shure Array microphones going forward. My colleague Riten is, taking a session tomorrow on, some more details about how to configure using the designer software with Intellimix, and the MXA network array microphones. I know he's on this webinar also listening to me at this time. So I just wanted to highlight to the audience here that if you're interested, please do join tomorrow's session. We will manage to send out those links out via the social media channels as well. But yeah, so if you are interested to know more about how to to understand better as to know how Intellimix Room and Designer and the Shure Network Array products come together and give you a simpler UI. So that's something we're going to discuss in detail in tomorrow's webinar, which is sometime around afternoon, I believe. So yeah, this is something that I spent a lot of time on this slide just to emphasize that please go ahead the designer way. It is designed keeping you in mind, keeping the programmer in mind, and not to worry much about the audio part, and have it more automated, right? So basically, to summarize, Intellimix Room is designed to have a natural audio experience with a much lesser effort, with much lesser investment, more optimized investment, and having most rooms with the with optimized hardware also allows you to save that budget for larger rooms where you will actually need dedicated hardware. So that is also one way where solutions like these can help manage the budget or have some balancing happening. It need not be because of the way it is simply made available, and not only on the cost but also on the installation part. It need not just be conference rooms. It can be classrooms. It can be virtual training sessions. These going forward, I think we'll be seeing a lot of virtual training rooms wherein you do need to pick up some audience or the lecturer, but most of the audience will be sitting remotely somewhere, either in their home PCs or home offices, right? So that's where what cannot be compromised is how the presenter is captured. Like right now, I have to ensure that I have a certain audio setup so that you guys can hear me. Same thing if you have a larger room, if you have a whiteboard in place, if you have some other, if you have a larger area to cover, you still can go with solutions like these, but keep it more optimized, right? So AV conferencing in corporates, classrooms, anywhere basically, any training environment, anywhere where there is optimization required, but audio cannot be compromised is where Intellimix Room can be looked at, right? It also allows you for easy management. So if you have a large campus and then there are many rooms which which have this in place, centrally all the licenses can be managed from by a single administrator, which device license needs to will be expired and which needs to be renewed, which needs to be expanded, let's say, based on the room's usage. If that room needs to have more seats or have more microphones in place, you can just simply upgrade an 8-channel version to a 16-channel version. No hardware upgrade required, no card upgrade required. It's basically just software, doing its magic, right? So, and troubleshooting wise also, it is very easy because it is software. You can just save its configuration somewhere, and then instead of if there is, for example, if there is any configuration issue or somebody fiddled with the configuration and made it wrong somewhere, instead of having to trace it back and troubleshoot, the easiest thing that can be done is just load the past preset, right? The past working preset, and that's where you can quickly get away from that problem rather than having to troubleshoot it in case of any manual errors. So these are some of the advantages I can highlight along with the beneficial features that the Intellimix Room has been designed with, right? So in terms of availability, it has been launched for the major markets, the more developed countries like US and Europe. But we will soon have this launched pretty much in the next month to this region as well, to India as well. So if you're interested, please reach out to us at india@shure.com. We have even now we have the trial versions available. So the trial versions of this software can be again downloaded, don't have to be sent, don't have to be shipped or couriered. So just the easiest approach is just download the software, have the demo license, which we can send to you. The demo or the trial licenses last around 90 days, and which is, I believe, good enough to test this stuff out. If you're interested, please write to us at india@shure.com. And we will get back to you as to know how to go about providing these this as a demo version to you. Right. So with that, I can look for some questions if there are any.
My friend Dave, there are some questions. And since Riten is also on board, I've just sent him a request in case he wants to interact live and tell us about his session that he's carrying out tomorrow. Till then, let's take some questions. Start with this first one. Firstly, does Intellimix work with Mac OS as well? Or is it a Windows only?
It is a Windows only, Windows 10 software as of now, no support for Mac.
Right. Okay. How does Intellimix fetch Dante information from the MXA 910?
Good question. So that's where the automation via the designer makes it very easy. So in designer, you basically just need to pull in the 910 and pull in the Intellimix Room, and then just tell that how many channels you want to patch with Intellimix Room. So graphically, you can just point that, okay, channel number 1, go to input number 1, channel number 2, go to input number 2. And it is basically going to route do the Dante routing automatically at the back end. You do not need to even go to Dante controller. So that's how basically the designer is going to do the Dante routing between the microphone and the Intellimix Room.
So we have Riten online. You there, Riten?
Yeah. Hi, guys. Hi, Dave.
Hey, Riten,
What's
welcome.
up? How are you?
Very good. Very good.
So what are you doing tomorrow?
Let me quickly show you
I
guys.
want to know what
then...
session.
Sure. Let me share something that can give the background of the session of tomorrow. So let me share my screen quickly, if I can. Well, I don't think I can share the screen, so it's fine. I'm going to have a setup with the MXA 310 connected with an Intellimix B300 DSP, and there will be another setup with Intellimix Room connected with MXA 910. So we're going to demonstrate the quality of audio between these two types of setup. So that can give you a kind of good idea of what exactly you can have with the IMX Room kind of installation. Yeah, so that's going to be there. I have a slide. If I can share, then definitely I can share what is going to be the setup like. I'm looking on it.
Yeah, let's just give it a minute. Meanwhile, Riten, tomorrow's session is at 1:30 India time.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, so just for everyone's announcement, so Riten's session tomorrow on Designer is at 1:30 p.m. IST.
Right.
So while Riten is trying, let's look at another question. Then.
There's another question which says, as far as price range, there's a question. You have any info on that, Dave?
Nothing yet.
Or shall we redirect them to Sun?
Yeah. So pricing would your pricing partners would be Sun Infonet. which yeah. But as of now, we don't have the pricing available, in INR as of now.
Okay. So in this situation, the next question is, do we need to connect like a Dante microphone over the client network, basically? This is from Prashant Devavaram.
In this case, we need to connect Dante microphone. Yes. So yes, it is designed for the Dante setup. Because using a PC network is the most efficient interface that you can get to connect multiple channels with the very minimalistic PC. So yeah, so the client networks, Dante microphone will interface over the network switch physically with the PC on its Ethernet network.
Yep. And would you require Dante controller for this?
You do not need Dante controller.
So it's basically the software that takes care of everything.
Yes.
Okay. The link for this webinar, for tomorrow's webinar. So if Riten can present now, he'll share that with you. How soon can we expect Intellimix to work with Mac OS? Provided people prefer like a Mac Mini integrated into their system. Correct. Good question.
Yeah, good question. Feedback taken. We hope to have this pretty soon, but at the moment it is Windows 10 only. So we would also like to see a macOS version coming out soon.
And can you configure another brand's Dante devices using the software?
You can. It's just that it has not been tested, and so that's why we have not tested the performance as to how it would sound when it is a third-party Dante device. We have tested it with Shure hardware definitely, and then that's the results that we know of.
You're here, Riten?
Yes, I'm here. I can share my screen now. Okay, I believe I can share now.
Yeah.
It's visible. So this is going to be the first setup with the laptop. The laptop what I'm going to use for my webinar, including P300 and MXA 310. The microphone is going to be connected via USB with laptop. The second one is going to be this one, MXA 910, connected with IMX Room software. And of course, the IMX Room PC is going to be connected via HDMI to the secondary screen. So we are going to give you a good comparison of these two types of DSP. One is the hardware, that's Intellimix P300, and second one is going to be your IMX Room. Okay, the setup is something like this. Intellimix IMX Room is here. I believe my pointer is visible. So this is the IMX Room PC here. 310, 910 on top, and I have Intellimix P300 down of it's below on my chair, so it's okay. It's not visible, but yeah, this is how it's going to be the setup. Yeah, so stay tuned, guys. It's going to be a great demo where we will just demonstrate everything on Designer and IMX Room.
Awesome. Thanks, Riten. And guys, we have one more question down here. In the future work from home situation or interactions with India and European countries, what is a better way through getting your audio through a PC/laptop? Do we have any products to make this setup better and make it sound better? Yeah.
Yep, good question. We do have products which make you sound better. That's actually a very good point also being raised, that sometimes or many a times it is not considered as to know how do you sound in a meeting if you're in a work from home environment, right? So we actually, just to keep the answer short, We did a webinar a few days ago with Ritin, when Ritin is giving different experiences of what how different microphones can sound. So please visit our Shure South Asia YouTube channel, and you will see that there is the last updated one is the AV conferencing microphones live demo. It is done in Hindi, but I guess you would, if you don't understand Hindi, you'd still be able to understand the different microphone experiences. So to answer your question, yes, the product-wise, yes, we do have the products for home conferencing. Very simple one, something like would be the one that I'm using right now. It's an SRH145. But if you need a really good, if you are doing a lot of online sessions, if you're training online, we have products like the one Pali is showing. It's an MV88. And that's
Guys,
how
this
he
is a
sounds. Okay,
MV.
if you
Yeah, so
found him
this is
sound
the
better than me,
MV88. Yeah.
it's because of that.
So this
So
is a
MV
small
series
little
basically
USB microphone connected to the computer, and there are various versions of this. So basically, Dave is using his headphones with the the built-in mic, and I'm talking on this microphone. So that would give you, and I'm in a typical home situation, so it would give you a little perspective, basically.
that shows how pro Fali is in that field, so he never takes options like this. But yeah, Motive series is what we recommend from our side, and the experience of that you can immediately get on the live demo session on the YouTube channel. So that's your South Asia. So yeah, any more questions that we can look at? I guess that's pretty much it. I do see a lot of questions on how do you plug in multiple mics to a PC? It's through the network. That's the best way to have multiple microphones. So Dante-based setup is what we are suggesting, right? Cool. So I think we are good with questions. Ritin, would it be possible for you to share the link for tomorrow's webinar somewhere on the chat here?
Well, it participant needs to register to get that link. There is no direct link. It is through that.
Okay.
The registration.
Yeah.
Maybe just a registration link.
Yeah.
Okay, so the easiest option that I can suggest is follow me on LinkedIn, and then you will get the link somehow, because I'll pretty much see the link coming out from Shure Middle East Africa, and we can whoever is following me, seeing me via LinkedIn, I can patch you guys with that Shure Middle East Africa page so that you get the registration link as well. Is that okay with them?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Awesome. Get a little sense of, since we have a little time here, just to figure from the attendees, what other topics would you like us to cover, say from what we've covered so far? Is there something that we've not covered and you think you'd like us to cover that, so at some point we can plan another session for those kind of topics? If you can just put it down in the question and answer or in the comment section, we'd greatly appreciate that.
Cool. And while we wait for that, I would like to also highlight that for people who are interested in learning or getting themselves trained about this product, we do have a new course also on the Intellimix Room, along with other courses on other products on our learning portal, which is what you see on the screen. This is where you go. It is Shure South Asia-Shure.talentellimix.com. If you're not registered yet, go ahead, register yourself, and once you're in, you see all the courses basically of all products that we have to offer, and you basically have the Intellimix Room course also available there, right? So this is the link, and for all our past and upcoming sessions, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, wherein you can actually experience products also in some sessions. There are sessions that I'm doing in Hindi. There are sessions that Fali is doing about different microphone experiences. So basically, all the gyan that you are looking for, in a localized way, is something that's being put here, and it will keep updating. So if you are for some reason missing our webinars, not able to join, it will be uploaded here, in a couple of days, and then you would be able to go through them. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that up. This is a very new channel. So we are slowly building content on this, which is more relevant for this region, and we are trying to make content which helps the local audience connect with us in a better way.
I think from the last session that we did with systems, I think it was calling was there to do a little RF theory for the system
Yeah.
market. So maybe that's something we will plan. We will do very soon.
Right.
Can you arrange an exclusive session on Dante and Shure Dante products, Dave?
Yes,
That's
we are. Uh, we are planning on that, and you will soon see something on that topic. And guys, if you come across any questions later on that something did not click please don't forget, you can always write to us at india@show.com, and then we would be happy to not only address questions. If you have any demo requirements, if you want to try it out yourself, you have a look at home, and if you want to just try this stuff, we can give you trial licenses as well. So do reach out to us, and then we can guide you as to how to go about this, and other solutions which can be useful going forward. So yeah, I'll hold on for a couple of more minutes in case there are more questions.
Poll here really quick. So this has some list of topics. I'll just put that up, and so I've got one more poll, guys, that's up right now. Maybe that'll give us a little information about future topics that would be interesting to y'all, and we can cover that up pretty soon.
Okay. So, Fali, do you have a window to chat with the participants?
Yes, I do.
So, can you just put this link across to them?
Sure. Sure.
This is for registration for tomorrow.
Tomorrow's?
Yeah.
Okay, lovely. So guys, I'm just sending out an announcement, and that announcement will have the link. I'll also put it in the chat, so just have a look. So this is for Ritender's session tomorrow. This is the registration link.
Yep. So I've seen some attendee count decreasing. So obviously people are leaving the show. But send it to your buddies, forward it, bombard Riten tomorrow in his session. Let's break Blue Jeans.
500, yeah.
So next poll is, what other topics would you like a session on? Dante or RF best practices for corporate, or microphone options for corporate?
Yeah, it just comes, I think, from the fact that there are the Shure catalog to an extent is so extensive. There's so many options as far as different kinds of lavaliers to different, there's so much technology, and there's so many options available. And just it would be great to inform everyone about those various options, let's just say. I mean, no doubt a standard setup like a ULXD to MXA and all the components, they work brilliantly, but there are other options and maybe some upgrades that are even possible. So maybe we could introduce some of that in the next session.
And for people who are still with us, I'm just giving them small trivia, to go and find out which is the smallest lavalier that Shure has, and it's actually a dual diaphragm one. Very small, very sleek, barely visible, And I found that in the AV conferencing or the corporate sector, not many people know about this. So try to find that out. Most people guess it would be some MX, but it is not an MX. It is something different. Starts with a T.
So I hope you guys have got the link for registration. You can just confirm that. Then, or I mean, later on you can reach out to. Okay, I'll take later. You can reach out to even Dave on his LinkedIn, and he can share the link with you. So considering the pandemic situation, do you have any roadmap to come with small mics for corporate use with laptop on USB? Well, at the moment, we already do have stuff like that. So there is the Motive MVL. I'm just pasting the name, the Motive MVL. So it works like with a TRRS. It's got a TRRS connector, which you can use typically for your phone. And if you wanted to use it on a laptop, then you can you plug it into the the microphone jack. But with the laptop, you require like a Y cable, where one side gives you the microphone and the other side you can connect a speaker. So something like that. Otherwise, the Motive range, there are quite a few products, and I'll just put my camera on. Like this microphone I'm using today. So it comes with a tripod and a phone stand and everything. And it just, it's just, you can wrap it up in a small pouch and, carry it wherever you go pretty much. So I was using like a regular mic for quite a few days, and then I've just completely switched to this. And it's just a single USB cable out, headphone out from the mic itself. And I'm using a mic stand right now, but you don't need it because, there's a tripod like this. So this whole mic and clamp sits in this tripod here. So you can actually just place this here, connect it to your iPhone or your Mac or your PC or Android also to an extent, and it should be fine.
And the good thing is that it is not only for speech, right? If you want to have fun with it, also if you play any instrument, the Motive series microphones allow you to tweak the microphone setting a bit so that you can, if you want, let's say, to use it for fun as well with your team members, you can play an instrument and the microphone can tweak its performance to make it sound better with an instrument, let's say. So that's basically the Motive series. That are like the ones that Fali is using. There are other products as well. How it sounds, if you want to really know, I mean, you have the YouTube live demo session with Riten. If you're in tomorrow's session, Riten would probably be using the same MV5 as he usually does. So you can hear that. That's basically the MV5 is. Yep, that's one.
This is MV5, which you can also use. It's connected with a single USB plug and play, 3 mode, pitch, instrument, and flat mode. That's best microphone for home office. What I can say.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Riten, are you talking on it now, or is that coming through your headset?
I'm speaking from MV5 only.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Sounds pretty awesome.
He has a bit of a setup there. What you see is what you cannot believe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, guys. So thank you all for joining. Thank you for all the nice questions. We hope we could address most of it. And so one is tomorrow. Please join us and inform your colleagues about tomorrow's session. Kind of helps you complement with today's session as to know how do you, this is software and this is how you manage software and this is how the network products work along with this software mechanism. And there are also upcoming webinars. So this Friday also, we're going to discuss something not very product specific, but how the products how our products with their audio capabilities can achieve situations that we're going to expect in the near future, and how we can be prepared and have still meetings done. So that's a webinar on the 22nd. It's more to be touching about social distancing and technology, and how we are able to merge that. So with that, I take your leave. Thank you so much again for your attendance. Thank you, Fali. Thank you, Ritin. And hope to see you guys again soon, pretty soon. Have a good day ahead.
Thanks, guys. Take care.